I had a manic episode, is what they call it. When I think about the fact that I'm 31 and I don't have money saved, I don't have investments, the phone bill is $120 for just myself. And I can tell you why I pay so much.
Leilani, so how was life after high school?
It's way different than I ever expected. I think I kind of was assuming that I would end up just being a loser. I know that sounds really negative, but I know.
Yes, very negative, indeed.
But I'm actually doing really well. I have a career that I love. I will probably delve more into the interview, but unfortunately I did lose a lot of friends in high school. Back then I was a little bit more self-centered and wasn't the greatest friend as I like to think I am now. So
okay. And can you tell us a bit why you thought you were going to be a loser? What was your thoughts?
I was a big partier in high school.
Okay. Which means you really like to have fun and stuff?
Like to have fun. I like to go to raves. I like to go to concerts and just doing stuff I probably shouldn't have been doing at 15, 16. So I was like, yeah, I'm just going to grow up and I'm going to be like a partier. I'm going to, rave the rest of my life.
in that sense, okay. Because you thought like growing up after high school, you had to have your job figured out already. You need to have make money and all that stuff. That's what the perception that you had.
Correct.
After high school.
Yeah.
And so after high school, how did you realize that it wasn't going to be the case, that you weren't going to be a loser and all that stuff?
Yeah, I got my first 9-to-5 job, I'd say like about 10 years ago. And I was like, this isn't so bad. I kind of like this stability. I think I'm going to maybe stick to this. I think I'm going to not party every single weekend. And I started feeling the effects of, when I would drink, I would get extremely hungover. I couldn't function normally. So I was just so dehydrated, so fatigued, so tired. And I was like, I can't do this like my peers can anymore. I'm going to have to just be a 9-to-5 corporate person now.
Yeah. And okay. And so what was the first job that you got?
My first official grown-up job was in a call center. So I worked for Covered California Insurance. So I was answering the phones for people who had insurance with us and helping them with their, emergencies. And it was a lot, but it was pretty official.
Yeah, no, definitely a call center. Yes, where you start, your corporate life, like you said.
Yeah.
And what was the biggest challenge that you faced throughout your first job?
For me, before that official job, I was in. And I'm not trying to say anything bad about retail or restaurants, but I was in, restaurants, retail, working a schedule that was completely open, 4 hours here, 4 hours there. So to work a full 8-hour day, that was difficult for me to be in one place for 8 hours straight. So. Yeah,
because you were more, maybe not hyperactive, but you were more active and you wanted to move a lot and stuff.
Yeah, I was getting out of the party life and trying to calm down. So I had all these jitters and things I needed to suppress. So
yeah. And how did you compensate?
Well, I mean, we could kind of go into that now. I found out through kind of getting older, getting a nice job, trying to settle down. I found out that I have a very hyperactive mind. Right? So it's more hyperactive than most people. I'm kind of bouncing off the walls. I need to stay up at night and party and do things. And I started realizing that wasn't normal. And so did people around me.
And how did you realize that?
Yeah. So at first it just seemed like a playful, fun thing. But when I was in my early 20s, I had a manic episode is what they call it. So
yeah, okay.
I was diagnosed with bipolar 1 disorder, which, the misconception is that with bipolar disorder, people are up and down and up and down and up and down. For me, I was just up like most
all the
of
time.
the time. And then one time I went 2 up and I was up awake for like a week. And my mom was like, why aren't you sleeping? What's going on? We need to take you somewhere to figure this out. Like, this is not
Hmm.
normal.
Like when you
Um,
say up, you couldn't sleep at all, like insomnia and all that stuff, or you were just
it,
doing so many things at night that you just basically survived the night by doing things.
I would almost say it was like both in a way. Like I couldn't sleep. Let's just say that. Like I tried to
Okay.
close my eyes and sleep and I would just be laying there. And then I would have to get up and like make art or like make music or just things that I wasn't usually doing. I wasn't making art and
Hmm.
music in the middle of the night.
Before,
Uh,
yeah.
it's a little embarrassing, but it's the characterization of the onset of bipolar 1 disorder in a lot of people is they just get that boost of just, woo, I could do anything, you know?
Like the zoomies for animal kind of.
Oh,
You
I
just
the Leilani zoomies is what I
the
have.
Leilani
So
zoomies. Oh yeah, really?
yeah.
Okay, and so you went with so your mom took you to a facility because they wanted to
Yes.
she wanted to figure it out, and probably you
Yes.
too. So
And
how did you
I
manage
think
to?
this is interesting. I want to preface this with I felt really lonely at the time. I felt like no one understood. They had not gone through this. So I think it's really important for me to share like the nitty gritty and everything so
Mhm.
people, who might be going through this can understand. I
Absolutely.
was taken to that facility and I was there for a month. So it took them a month to balance me back out, calm me down. I wanted to keep partying and staying up. So they had to, find the right medications and balance me to a
Wow.
level.
And when you said the facility, what kind of facility is it? Is it a psychiatric
Yes.
facility?
So the psychiatric unit is where they take people like me to calm them
Okay.
down.
Okay. Yeah, interesting. Well, yeah. But how did you go to the hospital first, or like did
Yeah.
you just went there after, right away?
Yeah. So my mom took me to the ER. So this is how it
Mm-hmm.
usually happens. They don't admit you immediately to a psych unit. You have to go to the ER first, and we have to have like a doctor evaluate you and figure it out. So I was becoming best friends with the doctor. I was telling him a lot of stories and talking and talking and talking. And he's like, "This is not normal. I think we need to take you to the psychiatric facility." So
Okay.
it was all happiness and rainbows, but yeah, at least there
Yeah.
weren't any
Before
fights or anything.
before you get the diagnosis,
Yes.
after months. So was it a bunch of tests and to see like what kind of condition you had, and then they find out, and then they were testing the medications and stuff.
Yeah. So the way it works is they admit you, and I don't, it's not scary, but you are kind of like a guinea pig in a way. They're trying
Yeah.
to try things out with you and see how it goes. Like they gave me one medicine, which I can give you more details on in a second if you need it, but they gave me one
Hmm.
medicine and I couldn't move my arms. So they were like, not that one. Um, so
Crazy. Okay.
yeah, we eventually found the one, which the adjustment period is a little rough on it, but
Hmm.
it's been the one for about 10 years now. So yeah,
Okay.
so
So it takes a long time to find out what kind of medication works for you and for your particular
right.
conditions, because I'm sure because we didn't mention it, but what you're talking about is bipolar 1. Is that right?
Right. Yeah, not
Yeah.
2, 1. A little bit. They're different in classification. Yeah.
Gotcha. And so, yeah, once you find out what kind of medication is good for you, then you keep it for your entire life. Is that how it works?
Yeah, until, they come out with new therapies. A lot of
Hmm.
people don't want to be on medication the rest of their life, so they'll go off of it and kind of go through the motions. I think my success has come from just sticking to it for this long period of time and not, making any changes because,
Changes. Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. And in terms of side effects, have you found any side effects?
So that's part of another reason why I'm not a big partier anymore. I'm
Ah,
tired now. So I have like a bedtime now. I go to bed at, I can stay up later if I have to, but if I have work in the morning, I'd rather go to sleep at 9 or 10. And
okay. So the medications really shuts
Yes.
your energy down more
Yeah.
mentally, I guess.
I'm not dancing in the streets anymore or like going out and meeting new friends out in the public anymore. So
Mhm.
I'm just a lot more subdued and calm, which I like it. I like being more level headed, and my friends and family know what to expect from me. I'm not doing anything crazy or saying anything crazy. So,
So that what you just mentioned is that obviously a big change in personality
yeah,
or behavior.
right.
Did that change a lot with people you were hanging out with? So like your social circle, how did that change?
Yeah, so that's something I was touching on in the beginning that was really rough, right? So
Yeah,
my
tell
high
us
school
about this.
friends that I
Hmm.
always hate dumbing or dulling it down to high school friends, but my friends that I grew up with, I was really close with. I loved them so much. But as I was getting older into like 18, 19, when things start to kind of set on, it's always in your early adult years is when bipolar 1 starts slowly creeping up.
Recording in progress.
uh, I basically what was awful for me is I was starting to become very selfish and self-centered with my friends. I
Okay.
was, you know, it doesn't matter who you are. You could be my best friend. You could be my dad. I'm not going to remember your birthday if I have a party or a concert or something fun to go to. I was
Okay.
just totally focused on me, and I was not considering the people that I was close to, and they were feeling it, and they distanced themselves. You know, before my formal bipolar 1 diagnosis, they distanced themselves, but they knew that I was just not the same. You know, that I was
Mm.
becoming more selfish and self centered. So it's
So okay.
unfortunate.
So obviously, yeah, those people started to take their distance. And how did you leave
Yeah.
that personally? Did you think it was sad, or did you were you happy because you could just live your life with less problems?
Well, at the time, I was mad and sad,
Mm.
and I was blaming them. I thought it was all their fault. I was like, "You guys are just bad friends. Like, how could you leave me when I'm going through things and going through a hard time? I don't understand." So I never was able to think that it could be me until later in life when I was treated. So
Okay.
yeah.
Wow. Okay. So that was probably a huge realization.
Oh yeah. I was like
Finding out. Yeah.
embarrassing.
Finding. Of course. Well, I'm embarrassed, maybe, but yeah, of course, if you if you thought they were the bad people and then you realize that it was only you, yeah. That's, and when did you realize that? What age? Because now we were 20. You get diagnosed at 20, 21.
20. So I would say it took a little bit more time. There was still some digging I needed to do and some
Yeah.
adjusting. And so I'd say when I was 24, 25, I was finally starting to put it together that it wasn't them, it was me. And that was what, 5 to 7 years later, which is hard, because I thought about them all the time. It was
Okay.
it was almost like losing a loved one, having someone
Hmm.
die and losing all of those friends. So I thought about them a lot, and then I finally thought about them in the right context and realized what really happened. So
Mm.
yeah,
So that was your friend, and in terms of colleagues and maybe dating life, how
yeah,
did that from like 21 to like 25, 26? How did that go? Because I don't know
yeah,
right now, but how did
right.
you learn
So
to how did you learn to how did you learn to entertain those relationships with your new personality?
right, and almost like it was like being a toddler because I was like slowly forming into who I am today, and it took
Learning them.
time. I remember I would see colleagues at work, and I would be like, "How do I make friends again? Like what
Hmm.
do I talk to these people about? Do I talk to them about what I like or what they like?" Um, it almost I don't know. I've never been. I hate to talk about so many diagnoses, but I've never been formally diagnosed with autism. But I know I've heard a lot of people on the autism spectrum face this where they're like, how do I interact with people on a daily, day-to-day basis? And that's what I was going
Hmm.
through.
Hmm.
Um, I noticed that people seemed to like me more than they did before when I was going through the Zoomies, but I still didn't know how to make like close friends. I think I was just
Okay.
like surface level. Yeah.
Okay. Was it because yeah, because it was like a new Leilani kind of that you
Yeah,
didn't know about, and you
brand
had
new.
to learn, basically learn again
Yeah.
how to portray yourself and how to put yourself out there.
Yeah, and I again I didn't
Oh,
realize I was
interesting.
doing it at the time. You know,
Hmm.
I realized later on, like a lot of introspection is part of my life, is just realizing things way too late. But yeah, new Leilani had to figure out how to make friends like she was in kindergarten. So
Goodness.
it was weird.
into
I think
into adulthood.
yeah.
Interesting. And so okay, so and you were still in the corporate world.
So I ended up, it was like slowly, yeah, I was at that Cover California job, and it would be funny if
Yeah.
some people that I worked with there heard this, but yeah, so I was there and I was slowly making friends. Interestingly enough, as I was kind of learning who I was, I met my now husband at that job.
Oh wow. Okay.
And he's never seen me the way I used to be. Like he knows me
The
as this
old
very,
Leilani.
yeah, very calm, like centered person. So when I tell him stories, yeah, he's just shocked.
He's
Uh,
shocked. Interesting.
yeah.
And is bipolar medication? Maybe I'm completely wrong, but if you stop taking it for just one day, it just comes back.
So I've forgot it like for a day or two, and I'm usually fine. I think the way that it works is the bipolar medication, lithium is what I'm on. It essentially blocks the dopamine in your brain from going too high. From what I understand, I am not a scientist, so I could be wrong.
Yeah. Yeah.
But so it would probably take weeks. I would probably have to be off of it for weeks for the
Okay.
dopamine to rise up in my brain enough for me to be like, oh, I'm
To
partying again, you know?
crazy
So
again. Yeah. Is it a pill or is it another way
it's a
you
pill, yeah. So I
It's a
take
pill.
it once a day. You
Yeah.
know, I've come to terms, so it's easy peasy. Just take it once a day. For all of
Hmm.
those out there that are struggling taking your medication, it's not that bad.
Nothing. Yeah. Nothing crazy you have to go
Yeah,
through.
yeah.
Okay. Good. And so now, so you met your husband, and he's obviously probably learned how to love the new Leilani at
Yes.
the same time as you did.
Right. Exactly.
What
Like we're
was the
growing
what was the
together.
challenges? Yeah, good. Yeah, that's crazy. What was the biggest challenges throughout your
Yeah.
early relationship?
So the biggest challenge for me is I've never lived with a significant other before.
Okay, yeah.
You know, I'd been in relationships as the old Leilani, but I never lived with them.
Hmm.
So we moved in together like pretty early on when we started dating, and he was asking me, why do you sleep so much? Why do you sleep so early? Why do you sleep on the weekends? Why do you need to nap all the time? I want to hang out and do these things. And that was the hardest part, especially for him,
Hmm.
because he likes to wake up early, and you know, he never naps. So it's we've had to find a balance with that.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So do you guys have a time where you hang out for sure? You do activities for sure
Yes, and
during the week.
over the years I try not to nap as much. So I'll nap when I'm sick, or maybe like if we've both went like on a walk or hiking in the morning and we're tired. So I just try to only sleep at night when I'm supposed to, if I can.
Hmm.
You know, if I can get away
Can
with
you?
it.
Yeah. Okay. I see. Can you take coffee? Can you drink coffee?
Yeah, I like, my favorite is actually green tea. So
Hmm.
I love green tea. I think it's, you know, great anti-inflammatory.
Yeah.
I think coffee, you know, it's interesting that you say that because they tell people with bipolar 1 not to drink caffeine.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah.
Yeah, so when I drink coffee, sometimes I do feel a little bit too happy. And I'm like,
Okay.
like maybe that's not a good thing. So
Yeah. You can't take too much.
yeah, so green tea is, I haven't had that issue with green tea.
Okay. Yeah, that's okay. Different type of caffeine.
Yeah.
And okay, so and do you use on the day to day? Do you use caffeine a lot?
I go through phases, so it's weird. It's probably not even that interesting, but I'll just make it interesting. So
Yeah, yeah.
I
Okay.
will go like a couple months without caffeine. Like I'll just be like, I just feel anxious this month. I think I'm gonna go without it, and then I'll start back up. So I go through like gaps of time. Like it's never consistent. So,
Mm.
and I think
Okay.
it's almost like my disorder has like seasons. Like I feel different in during different seasons. Like I feel more happy or more depressed or more tired. So I kind of work with that. Yeah.
Right. Okay. That's for depending on the season, you
Right.
drink more tea or not. Okay.
Hmm.
All right. And so he's obviously learn how to
Yeah.
live with you.
Yeah.
And so now you obviously live together.
Yes.
And how long have you been living together for?
It's been about 5 years now.
Oh, okay,
So
fine. Okay, I'm doing it there.
yeah, and I find it interesting too because I think when you tell a partner that you're bipolar, they expect living with you to be like whoop, 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 up and down, but it's just so not like that with us. I think just our main struggle is the tired thing,
Hmm.
unfortunately.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you what's the challenges right now, and like
Yeah,
that you have so much experience together.
yeah. I mean, and one thing to touch on too, I think that's helpful. Sometimes through your journey of, balancing out, you will have to try new medications, have ones be brought on or remove some, which
Hmm.
can cause you to be extra tired or maybe extra depressed for that time that
Mm.
you're adjusting. So we struggle with that, but I don't change them very frequently. I think it's maybe once every 6 months to a year.
Okay.
So
Do you experience a lot of depression with that medication?
yeah, I would say because my medications kind of block the dopamine from coming up and up and up,
Yeah.
I
So it's hard to be
struggle with
happy, kind of.
depression. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Because it's hard to feel happiness. Is that right?
Yeah, unfortunately.
Hmm.
I always see this thing in my head where like my lithium is like has a tennis racket and it's hitting the dopamine away from me at all times. So I just have to like be sad sometimes. Like it's okay, but it's I'm not as happy as I used to be, unfortunately.
Oh, okay. I see what you mean.
Yeah.
Okay, so now you're self-aware
Yeah.
enough. So when you know, then you have this depression feeling coming.
Yeah.
Do you have like coping mechanism, or do you have like strategies to keep yourself, you know,
Great
up?
question. Great
Yeah.
question. I love exercising. I think exercising is so important. Getting
Hmm.
cardio in. I love the elliptical. It's my favorite. I notice when I reach that 45 minutes of good elliptical time, I
Yeah.
feel a lot better. So if I can consistently do that 3 to 5 times a week, it will keep the depression at bay. Also, trying to eat cleaner. I currently work in the vitamin and supplement industry, so
Hmm.
I take vitamins and supplements and try to eat clean. I know people always say that and don't really go into depth, but it's changed my life. It's made me so much more energized and less fatigued just eating a better diet with less processed foods, more protein,
Of
more
course.
fiber.
Of course. Yeah. And how many times a week do you work out?
So well, I'm just getting over a cold, unfortunately. But when I'm
That's okay.
consistent, I try to 3 to 4 times a week is kind of and then if I can get in five, yes, yeah,
Yeah. Great. Great. Frequency. And then you talked about obviously like we have probably a professional in front of us, a vitamin professional. So what's the for kind of anyone to be still in shape? I'll tell you what I take right now, and hopefully you're gonna tell me
yes,
exactly
please. I geek out on
what's
this.
what's the take. I take three of them, but
Okay,
for yeah, the day-to-day people, that's have an active lifestyle, just like you and me, maybe 3 to 4 times a day, just to be healthy. The
yes.
very normal vitamins to take. What is it?
So I kind of am not the expert. I work in there, but I will tell you what I do, what I love. I love magnesium glycinate. So having
Hmm.
a magnesium, I take magnesium in the morning and night. For me, it helps me sleep. Uh, Again, not a professional on like what it does. I just sell it, which is awful. I know that
Not
sounds
professional
bad,
advice here.
but
Yes,
magnesium
yes,
is great. Magnesium glycinate. I love fish
yeah.
oil. I think it's great for my joints. I kind of feel a little bit like looser and more free. It's great for brain health, the
Hmm.
DHA.
Hmm.
What else?
Hmm.
I take a lot, so I'm trying to think of what else I
So
can.
far, out of the three, I take those two so far.
Oh,
So
you
that's good.
do? Do you take astaxanthin?
Hmm. That's no,
Okay,
that's just one type of vitamin.
It's kind of it's derived from, again, sorry, from the sea. It's derived from the
Okay.
sea and it has a red color to it. So people say
Mm.
that taking it actually, I feel like we sound like a promo right now, but taking it
Yeah.
enhances your skin color. So I'm very pale, and I swear since taking it, I see a little bit of color. So that's just why I
Oh,
take
okay.
it.
Hmm.
Even though it does other
Yeah, but I
things.
think a vitamin. No, of course, but vitamin wise, you're right. You just mentioned the two most important ones is fish oil and magnesium, and then the
Yes,
third will be probably multivitamins, just with
correct.
all the calcium,
Get them all in
vitamin
there.
B, C, etc., etc.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I think
Oh,
every
and
adult should take those three
yes, B vitamins,
and
make
be
sure
with
those are in there because those are super important for your brain health.
eggs. Damn right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So those vitamins are or the most important ones just for day to day people.
Yes.
Really. Yeah. Okay. And so, did you like your job?
I
Is it
love my job.
passion? Yeah. What
Yeah.
did you like about it?
I love the people that I work with. So I work in a very small company. It's just 30 of us.
Okay.
And I get along with every single person I work with, and everybody has such respect for each other. We're there to help each other no matter what. I just never feel alone there. I feel like if I'm ever struggling with something, I have people to help me. And I just love that I'm newer there. It's my first year, so that's why I don't know too much about like
Okay. I
everything.
see what you
But
mean. Yeah. Yeah.
I am I love educating myself, especially about health
Mhm.
and wellness. So I'm using this job also to educate myself. Sorry that I'm using this job, but yeah, I'm educating
I mean,
myself.
yeah. That's the
I
point
think
of.
everybody is, right? And
Yeah.
if
Exactly.
they like their job, so yeah,
Absolutely. I don't. I think like if you're not learning anything at work, it's probably it's probably boring, and you're just gonna stay the same and
exactly.
not grow as a person, as a human being, right? So
Yeah, and another thing I find interesting is before I started this job about a year or so ago, I was extremely unhealthy. I was 25 pounds heavier. I was eating all processed foods, all fast foods all the time.
mm,
I was not doing good. And this job has encouraged me to live a healthier lifestyle. So that's my biggest thing is,
how did it help you with
yeah,
living it like your colleagues, or did you find out that vitamins are good to take, so you need to exercise too? And
well, the vitamins are good to take, but my colleagues are all insanely fit. They're
oh wow,
all
yeah,
really
makes sense.
healthy. And one of them, I kind of told her, like, you guys eat such good food at lunch. Like, look at what I'm having. And she suggested that I meet with her holistic doctor. And so I did. And from that point forward, I, kind of followed her meal
Change your
plan.
life.
And yeah.
Wow.
So,
Okay, well that's good that you found your routine, and that you found
yes.
your diet
Yeah.
that works for you, because it definitely helps you on a day to day, and
It does.
just yeah, with longevity too. I mean, obviously, his time will tell, but um,
Yeah.
longevity wise,
I know it's like
it
I already
it
kind of
helps a lot.
have one factor against me, so I really need to work harder to stay healthy, which
Hmm.
I'm okay with that, you
Yeah,
know. So,
yeah, yeah. Well, it gets you things to do as well outside of work and outside of the house as
yeah.
well, right? And like you said, especially in your example, like that's perfect, because with you having your dopamine controlled, and obviously maybe not your emotions are not, or you're not in control with your emotions, the fact that physical activity gets you to be
Yeah.
more happy, I think is just a perfect proof that
Yes.
it works. Good in the mind, or good in the body, good in the mind, same idea, vice
Yeah.
versa.
Yeah. I
it's
can be
it's
a
a perfect.
spokesperson for
Exactly,
that.
yeah, really,
Yeah.
it's a really good balance
Yeah.
to have. Okay, and so um, obviously, part of being an adult, relationships is one thing, health is one thing that we talked about, um, and how about the financially?
Yeah.
Did you see a big change to when you were not diagnosed to after?
Yeah. So before diagnosis, I just didn't really put too much into work in general. So I just put more into my social life and partying, and I did not have a lot of money. I also, embarrassingly, because of that lifestyle I was living, I did not finish college.
Oh,
So
okay.
um, see that kind of. I mean, even though I am in a pretty good spot now, I know I
Mhm.
could be further if I would have finished college. So now I'm doing pretty well financially, but I would say that I am living paycheck to paycheck. Like
Mhm.
I don't have much left over to invest or save, which is awful. I would love to start investing. Um, but yeah, so that's my struggle.
Okay. So, question: you're saying two contradictory things here. You're saying that you're doing pretty well financially, but at the same time you're living paycheck to paycheck without anything to save at the end of the month.
Yeah.
So, what do you mean by you're doing good, pretty good financially?
I would say just because I'm able to get everything that I need and pay the bills that I need and I'm not in debt. So
Gotcha.
when I think of not being in debt, I assume good, and I do live in a very nice place. But you could argue that because it's paycheck to paycheck, it wouldn't be good.
I mean, obviously, there's always room for improvements.
Yeah,
I think that what you're saying is that you're not where you want to be, but you're happy
yeah,
where you're at. I think
fair.
that's what you mean. Um, but yeah, obviously, there's always more things to do. There's more money to make. There's more money to save.
Yes.
That's for sure. It's. Are you stressed about that? Like, does that bring you a bit of a stress?
Yeah, I think about it sometimes. I mean, there was a period last year where it was debt. So that was
Hmm.
extremely stressful. It's good to get out of it. But yeah, I mean, when I think about the fact that I'm 31 and I don't have money saved, I don't have investments, it's a little depressing.
Hmm. Do you own your house?
No, so my my husband's parents own this house and we pay them rent. So
Okay.
yeah.
And is rent a lot?
Uh, it's decent. It's kind of for California standards. It's probably what a two-bedroom apartment would be monthly. So
Okay. Does you and your husband put the money together
we
every in
do.
the same account? Your paychecks go into the same accounts,
Oh
right?
no, we have separate accounts, but we put our money together at the end of the month to send it off. Yeah, for rent. Yeah,
Yeah. Okay. So it's for rent. Okay.
yeah.
Okay. Well, do you want us to dive a little bit more into the financial thing and see where we can improve?
I'm open to it. I know you're the expert. I've wanted to like potentially talk to people about it, but it's I don't want to get all depressing. So, but yes, I would love to chat about
Oh, that's
it.
not the goal is not to get depressing. The goal is
To
to
help
see
you.
where exactly. Well, see where you're at, make a
Right.
plan, and I think the stress is about the unknown,
Yeah.
right? So if you have a plan and you have a goal that you need to hit, then
Yeah.
it'd be less stressful,
Right, right,
right?
right.
I think that's where
I'm
it
in the
comes from.
with. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So okay, so you have one full time job at the selling vitamins, right?
Correct.
How much do you make? Is it salaried? How much do you make a month?
It's salaried. So, a month I make about $4,200. Putting myself on blast here.
And that's net in.
That's
Okay, and
before
that's net in
taxes.
your account, correct?
Yeah, in my account.
Before tax.
Yeah. What's
In your
yeah, whatever is
so in
in
your
my
account
account. Is that after tax? That's after tax. Sorry, my bad.
after tax, exactly. Yeah, it's
It's
okay.
the
It's
cold
it's
brain.
uh it's net, so exactly. No, it gets slower
Yeah.
anyways. Yes, okay. So 4,200 a month coming in your account, and so out of this we will deduct rent,
Correct.
which rent is exactly 50-50 with your husband,
Correct. So I would say like 1,500 for myself.
and 1,500 for yourself. Okay.
Mhm.
And in terms of bills, what are your biggest bills at the moment?
Car payment.
Car, phone.
Yeah,
Okay. How much is car payment?
Car is 600.
Okay,
Yeah.
600 a month. That's
Mhm.
just the financing of it.
Correct. Yeah.
Is it financed or is it leased?
Financed. Mm-hmm.
Okay. And how much is insurance on that car?
That is 200 a month. So
Okay. Is it a car that you share, or you guys both have your own car?
we have our own. So
Okay, so you're paying 600. He's paying another whatever he's paying.
whatever he's paying, exactly. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Phone bills.
There's a lot. Do you want me to lay them all out?
But yeah, probably we can. Yeah, the one
Yeah.
that's for sure. Yeah.
Okay, and I'm a little embarrassed because I feel like maybe I spend too much money on other things because I feel like they might not all equate to like what we make. But we'll go on.
We're here for that.
Yeah, right. So
Exactly.
health insurance. So I actually get my health insurance separately, so I can get like a special one that I want, and I pay like $400 a month for that.
My God.
I know, right?
Does that cover? Like, do you have also? You said life insurance. You said
So that's just for health.
just health. So if you go get your medication, is paid for. If you broke a leg, is paid for.
No, it's not paid for, unfortunately.
Okay.
So
Okay.
it just kind of lets me in the door, and then they decide what else they want me to pay when I get there. I know.
Okay.
I know. For you, you're like.
Welcome to the United States.
Yes,
of
the
America.
United States. I'd love to tell you more. It's awful. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, no, but I mean for the health part is.
The health insurance is I even though I pay that $400 a month, I'm still when I go to like the dermatologist, I'm paying another $100 out of pocket for a visit to her, and then I'm paying another $100 for the medication she gives me. So it's like always just more.
But is that a deductible?
There's a deductible, but I've noticed, because I usually hit my deductible, I'm still required to pay those copays. So any visit, you're still required to pay like $90 for your visit, or it's awful.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's how deductible works, because you need to pay the initial amount, whatever it is, whatever your deductible is, that's the initial amount. How long have you had this insurance for?
This one specifically has been about a year. Yeah.
Okay. And well, obviously you're using it. You're making the most out of it.
I am. Yeah, it's worth it.
Yeah. I hope so. $400 a month on health insurance, obviously. Here in Canada is crazy, but in the US, I'm sure you need it. Okay, so $400 a month for the health insurance, and then what else?
I'm getting that healthy food. So I feel like for both of us, trying to prep that and get good stuff is it's coming out to like, this is going to be a lot, like maybe $400 or $500 a month.
That's I mean, it's not too bad.
Yeah, but I wonder.
You go to restaurants and stuff?
What'd you say?
You go to restaurants a lot?
We try not to, but I say we do once a week or once every 2 weeks, which is not a good idea.
Yeah, it's not.
Yeah, that's
not that bad. But I can see it. Yeah, I can see everything going down right now. Your take-home pay.
What do I have so far? Still.
We're at 1,100 left.
Yeah.
So there's no phone bills left.
Oh,
right. Where is it? What is the phone bill?
The phone bill is $120 for just myself.
Okay.
And I can tell you why I pay so much.
Yeah, please.
Part of me trying to make some extra cash, like to have extra teaching, I started doing like acting and user-generated content. So I want to have the best service, best phone, best data possible. That's my justification. Okay.
You have Wi-Fi?
Do I have Wi-Fi? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And is the Wi-Fi included in the phone bill? No.
Yes. Oh, you mean for like the house, the Wi-Fi, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. So I pay that too. Our Wi-Fi is another $200.
Okay. But this expenses are split in half with your husband?
Some of them. I feel like I
Some of them,
pay a
okay.
lot
Does
of
your
it.
husband makes less or more than you?
A little bit less. So,
Okay.
yeah.
That would explain why.
Yeah. So.
Okay. Okay, hold on a second. 442.
And then I.
So you said you're. Yeah.
Oh, gas.
Please go for it.
And then I shop.
Yeah. You shop for what?
Kind of.
You shop for what?
Oh, for what?
Clothes or toys or?
We play a lot of video games. We buy comic books. We buy video games. We buy clothes.
Okay. I think what your solution here is to
the obvious.
The obvious is to. I think there's some cost here that can be lowered.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
The car, especially.
Yes.
The health insurance, I can't really tell if it can be lowered because obviously you have needs with your condition and whatever happens in life, right? It's good to have.
Yeah.
The car insurance, especially if you're making this amount a year, it's quite high. But what you need to do is you need to take, I think $300 a month for what you're making right now and what comes out of your account necessities. $300 would be realistic for you to send to another account that's not on your main bank.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, for sure. I mean,
so I know you guys have a Robinhood or it could be just a simple savings account that you have at another bank. Okay, so you basically send yourself some money.
Okay.
But you never like just the money goes and you never see it and it goes into the account. But that would be the first step because in terms of money saved, what do you have?
Maybe like a couple thousand. Not like
couple thousand. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you need a healthy emergency fund. That's probably the first step.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. But you don't have any debt, so that's a good start. Like I work in the financial industry.
Yeah.
I see people with a crazy amount of debts.
I bet.
And it's not good to see.
No.
The fact that you don't have debts, I think that's your biggest financial strength. Is that any money that you'll be able to save is money that you can grow for your future.
Yeah.
Right. It's not money that you save because you have to put it back into a debt.
True.
Right.
Because that would just I know that feeling, that revolving feeling of just like being stuck and.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Another solution for you that worked for some people is that if you have a family member that you trust at 1,000%, is to send them the money because they will be in custody of the money.
Right.
So they will be able to keep the money for you and not spend it. But that's really for people that are like big spenders and they can't really control their emotions or their spending needs. Right. But I don't think it's your case.
Not there.
Exactly. Yeah, it's not your case, but that's a solution that I've seen people do. But yeah, Leilani, if we can put $300, so you're getting paid bi-weekly or you get paid monthly?
Bi-weekly. Yeah.
Bi-weekly. Okay. How realistic does $100 sound?
Very. Yeah.
Very?
I think that's a good start. Yeah.
$100?
Yeah.
Bi-weekly. Okay.
Yeah.
So I want to call you in 6 months, right?
Okay. We're going to check on this.
We're going to check on this.
Accountable.
So $100 bi-weekly. It's a good start, obviously, but it's the only hold on a second. So if we do, it'd be only $1,200 a month. $1,200 after 6 months.
Okay.
It's just a good start.
Something.
Right? But what you can do is work on your spending, especially on the car payments.
Yes.
Obviously, I don't know what car you have, but there's probably things to lower here. every single bit that you can lower, you tell yourself that this is the amount they can put for your future.
Right.
Right?
Gotta do that.
And the couple thousand that you talked to me about, is it for you and your husband, or is it just for you?
Just for me. Yeah.
And he has money?
Yeah.
Okay. He has, okay. Okay, good. So I think, especially with you paying $1,500 a month in rent, we'll call it 4 months. Call it 3. So 2000. Once you have about $4,500 saved in cash, accessible at all times,
Right.
then you can think about investing.
Okay. That's fair.
Okay, because
I won't worry about it yet.
Exactly. Yeah, don't worry about it yet, because if you don't have any cash to sit on as a cushion, if things happen, if things go south,
Yeah.
then you need to be prepared for it. And investing money is always for long term. So the money that you put in the market, if you put in the market, is going to be for long term. You don't want to touch that. So that'd be the goal. $100 bi-weekly to start. Okay. As you work down those costs, you put this extra money into the savings.
Right.
Right.
I can do that.
Because that's the secret for your future self.
Yes.
Is to make more money and not increase your spending.
Right.
Right. So if you keep and normally, as you work at the same employer, you probably have raises, right?
True. I mean, that is something to take into account,
Exactly. So as you get raises, you want to put that money aside instead of using it for anything else, especially, again, if you don't have any debt.
Yeah.
That's really the money that you can put for future. Right. Just put yourself as the Leilani in 10 years.
Yeah.
I'm sure the Leilani in 10 years will thank today's Leilani for
you're right.
putting that money aside, right?
It's like sometimes you just need somebody to just straight up tell you kind of what to do. Like, and then you're
exactly.
Like, okay, sure.
Yeah, we're gonna hang up that call, okay? And I want you to go check other banks' savings account.
Yeah.
And see which one offers the best rate.
Okay.
For savings account, and open an account at that bank.
That's a smart idea.
And set up the $100 bi-weekly that you send over to the other bank.
That's a good idea. Because the bank I'm at right now, I don't think offers any benefit to savings. So, yeah.
Exactly. Yes. So you that's what we want to do.
Yes.
Does that make sense to you?
Oh yeah, I'm all for it. I'm ready. So.
Yeah, me too. That's where that's where growth is. Being uncomfortable. Saving money, especially if you have not done that before. Right. But it cannot stay in your checking account. That's for sure.
I know.
Right. So that's the plan for the next 6 months. Now I wanted to ask you, who's Leilani in 5 years?
Didn't really have time to think about that one, but
let's think about it.
Yeah. Well, I would like to be surrounded by a lot of friends. I would like to go out and start making friends again and not being afraid after losing the ones that I had. Obviously my fault, but I want to be brave. I want to make friends. I want to just have a big circle in 5 years. I want to have a big circle full of people I love. Always seeing people, because right now my life, I feel, is a little small in that department. So I know that might not be what everyone says, but for me, it's a big deal.
I know, of course, yeah. Everybody has different expectations. And what are you doing anything right now to?
I think slowly, yeah. I mean, I'm trying to branch out. I meet people when I'm out, like shooting, like little commercial stuff or whatever, and I try to make a point to get their phone number and their Instagram and make connections. I do eventually want to start making content about bipolar disorder, maybe reaching more people out there to help them. So even though that's not an immediate circle, that would be maybe people that I could help, So
Yeah.
yeah.
Does the people that you meet making content,
Mhm.
is that just a one-off thing that you see the same people over and over,
It's
or
a
is just a?
one-off thing. Yeah. So
Mm-hmm.
it's you have to really kind of go out of your comfort zone if they don't do it, for you to be the one to ask for their phone number or connect, because you might never see them again. So, I've connected with a couple people that we have plans to hang out, which is kind of cool. So we'll see how that goes.
Mm-hmm.
And LA is a big place, so you meet a lot of people
Huge,
out there.
huge. Yeah, yeah. And
Hmm.
obviously everybody's busy with their life, right? So
True.
okay. Have you thought about uh like fitness classes, box class, yoga class? Have you thought about
Yeah, I would love to have a class to be accountable to, actually, because I feel like
that?
just me saying, "Hey, I'm gonna go after work a few times." So I would love to do Pilates again. I really do like Pilates. Work on
Yeah.
my muscles. Or potentially maybe a cycling class again. I always like
Yeah.
those. Those are
I
hardcore.
think that's where the people that you want to meet. I think that's where they are.
I have a feeling too.
I think that's where they are. Because
Yeah.
people obviously will bond with other people that have the same interest,
Yeah. You're
and
right.
cycling, especially like I don't know, cycling clubs or
Yeah.
um, yeah, just classes that you can come to every Monday, for example, or every Monday and
Right.
Thursday that you see every week. Then I think that's where your friends are. You just need
That's awesome, because I didn't
to
I
go and
didn't
meet
think
them.
about that. I didn't think
Yeah.
about mixing fitness with friendship.
Of
So
course, yeah, yeah.
that would
The
be
gym is
cool.
one thing because everybody's focused with their music
Exactly.
on the one movement that they're doing. But if you go
Yeah.
to a class where you can talk and it's like it's alive, and especially if you have
Yeah.
a coach or anything like that that makes the class
Right.
alive, it obviously help a lot with making
Yeah.
friendships.
See
So I
familiar
definitely.
faces and okay.
Yeah, exactly. I
Good
definitely
idea.
encourage you to try out some classes and
Yeah.
whatever you like. I think that
I
could
think
work
I'm
out.
encouraged now. Like, I wasn't even really thinking about it, and
Mm-hmm.
but I think that's a great idea.
Mm-hmm. I think so
Yeah.
too. Okay,
Thank you so much for your time and for chatting with me today.
no problem.
Okay.
Thank you for staying until the end. If you liked today's conversation, please consider subscribing. There's many more episodes coming this month, and I don't want you to miss them.